Welcome back, Homeworthy. This is Courtney Petit in Dallas, Texas, and I'm thrilled to have you back at my house. Today, I've set some spring tables for you all to see, and we are going to set one together for dinner tonight. So come back in and we'll take a walk in my backyard and get into the house.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Before today's episode, click the join button below to support all of the storytelling we do on this channel. Our growing community of members help to directly fund more videos so we can capture these extraordinary homes from around the world. So join today to receive early and exclusive access to new Homeworthy videos.
Hi, my name is Courtney Petit, and we are in my home in Dallas, Texas. So today I'm going to take you into my home and show you some ideas on how to decorate surfaces for spring. We're going to start in my eating area, where we're going to set a table for dinner, and then we're going to go into my closets and search for some things to set that table. And then I'm going to take you out to the pool house and show you a pool table, and then into the entryway, where I can show you how to bring flowers to life and make you feel like you're walking into a field of flowers when you're walking into a home. The love of tabletop came to me as a child. So when we would go to my grandmother's house, she always had very formal dining room table. She had her crystal out, she had her silver out, she had her china out. And even as a young girl, I remember sitting at the table and was enamored with the linen, the silver, the crystal, and all sort of the bling that came with it. And that manifested into what I've curated and collected today. And what I like to do is to bring that sort of back to life for my children and give them that same experience that I had with my grandmother, and use her things and bring them to the table with us so that she's a part of our family today. If you don't have something passed down, I was fortunate to have that, and so I started with a great, what I say, base. But I've also collected over time to add to that base. What my grandmother's taste was, she had a very refined and defined space, which was, she liked fancy things. She liked the crystal and the silver. I was fortunate to start with that base, but over time, I've gone to secondhand stores, Facebook Marketplace, people selling things on Instagram, estate sales, auctions, to continue to collect and curate my own collection and add to that base. Collecting and curating, unfortunately, does come with time. If you try and go all at once, you're not going to find the best piece, or you're going to get a bunch of one set of something. And I actually think the best things are incomplete sets. To buy 8 dinner plates or 12 dinner plates, but you don't need the salad plates with it and the bread plates and the saucers and the teacups. I think you can focus on curating and getting different sets of china and blending it all together so that you don't have a bland table. But that takes time. Just like if you want to go into the secondhand shop, or sometimes there's great stuff in it, sometimes it's a miss and you walk out with nothing. It takes time, it takes frequency. So we are in the solarium today, and it's one of my favorite rooms in the house to serve dinner for the family. You can see here we just have a plain tablecloth, and we are going to be setting the table together after we go into the pantry to get plates and napkins and other items that we'll set the table with. Reason this is one of my favorite rooms is to eat in is the light in here. You've got this peak at the ceiling. It's a nice round table. I like to eat at round tables. And this room was actually, before we made it into an eating area, was really just a passage through to the garage, and it was a greenhouse. And so we've taken the greenhouse and enclosed it and made a planting area, which you'll see in a little bit. And this is a place that we get to and from the garage, but also a place that we frequently eat dinner as a family together. So now we're going to go into 2 areas where we're going to get some of the plates and napkins. Let's go get them. Now we're in the entryway to the house. This was actually one of the reasons why I bought the house, was for this room, and you'll see why in a little bit as we pull out some of the plates and some of the napkins that we're going to set the table with. But first I wanted to show you another tabletop, although it's not one that you're going to eat on. This is the entryway table. Right now, flowers are pretty easy to get, pretty cheap to get. You can go to Trader Joe's. And what I wanted to do is have you all come in and really feel like you were part of a garden coming into the house. So spring table. All these are, it's collected Wedgwood vases that I've collected over the last 20 years. I love the blue Wedgwood, the Jasperware, and just went to Trader Joe's and put some tulips in here 2 days ago, and now they're all in bloom for you all to see, and wanted you all to feel like you were walking into a garden as we were setting the table in here. So one of the things that I love collecting is Wedgwood Jasperware, and you can see all these different pieces on the table that I've been collecting over the last 20 years. This was not something handed down to me, but these are things that I found in some of those secondhand shops, flea markets, estate sales. And if I see them, and I know that the price is right, because they do vary in price, sometimes you'll see them for $15, sometimes you'll see them in upwards of $100. If you get them and the price is right, I will grab them and I'll snatch them. And this is one of my favorite ones just because of the shape. I don't know, I love the unique design of the shape and feel that it's a little bit different than just some of the round vessels. This one here I love too, just because it has sort of the Greek mythology scene on it, and it has all the intricate detail, and it's a little creamer. So they're just really fun. You can get them anywhere. You probably see them lots today, eBay, secondhand shops, estate sales, and just make sure that you price them so that you get one that's for a fair price and that's not overpriced. So let's look now at one of the reasons why I bought the house. It's centered on this room, and here's why. So you all know I have a lot of different pieces of things that I got handed down and lots of different linens, and I'm going to pull some today. But the house had all these like lovely drawers, and I filled them with linens I've had passed down for me. So you can see that these are a bit, antique linens, or these are my grandmother's, the ones with the C. These are ones, they're really pretty. If you look at them, they're just drink napkins, and then these are actually napkins that you put your stemware in. So you put the base of your glass into that. So very old ones that were passed down to me that I put on top. You can see I have some here, they pull out. This is where I've got some of the monogram ones, and I like to organize them by type so I know what I'm getting. We're actually going to take these today for dinner because I like these. I like the blue and white. I think they go with the butterflies on the table, so I'm going to grab 4 of them. From Marigold Living. She's a lovely woman from India, and my former work colleague is her niece, and she's just phenomenal. She's a woman-owned business, and she's done a great job building it out. And if I am purchasing things, I always like to support women-owned businesses that are starting their businesses out. So we're going to use these today. You can see the pretty blue and white sort of looks like china, and then I've got C and P for my initials that are embedded in white. But these drawers right here, all just full of the linens. You can see like these are my mom's linens, these yellow ones. They were plain though, so I had my friend monogram them. I like to monogram things if they don't have something interesting on them. They just make for a more dynamic, fun, layered table setting, but it doesn't always have to be monogrammed. It can be, like here, a hydrangea or whatever you want to put on it, whatever is meaningful and thoughtful to you. These right here, just C's, and I had my daughter make them during COVID because she likes to stitch. She was bored, and she made these for me during COVID. So it's easy. Sometimes you can just buy like cheap Sephora napkins or inexpensive napkins on Amazon and have somebody embroider whatever, or monogram, whatever you'd like to put on there that's meaningful for your table. So we got to get some salt and pepper shakers. And again, I'm a collector of things. I'm a collector of salt and pepper shakers. I think because we're doing a spring table, I'm going to go with the theme of these green frogs, or these fun green and white frogs. I got these in an estate sale actually just down the street a couple years ago. But I've got a bunch in here. You can see asparagus. I like pigs. I have a dog, and so we have a dog. And I do like to do a theme table as well. If it's Christmas, I'll do the nutcrackers. If it's Valentine's Day, I have Hershey Kisses. I've got, everything's in there. And we'll put that here for right now. And I also want to get some of the spring glasses. These are fun ones. So I keep my stemware in here as well as pitchers. And what we're going to do today, because we're going with the spring table, is, I think I showed you all these before actually, but they're so fun. They're glass, you can get them on Amazon. They're little mockingbirds. And I'm gonna get 4 of these to set for the table. We like to put straws in them, and I like to put lemonade in there because the girls like to drink lemonade with dinner sometimes. We can have all these accessories, but we still have to have our plates to eat from. So we're gonna go over here and get our plates. Again, lots of plates, and you may look at me and say, is this a plate store? It's really not. These are a lot of things that were handed down to me and that I've collected and curated over time, either through stores that I've purchased at estate sales, or, this is china that I had when I got married. I registered for it. It's a beautiful heron Queen Victoria plant pattern that I love. And I didn't get necessarily everything, didn't get it completed when I got married. So over time, I've collected the pieces and purchased more at auction when I thought that it was a great price and much better than you could buy at retail. So I built that out over time, but we're not gonna use those because it's not a fancy dinner tonight. We're gonna go more casual. I'm actually gonna take 4 dessert plates. These are meaningful for me. These were actually my grandmother's. And I remember when she got them with my mom in Chicago at a store there. And what's fun with these, they were made by Gloria Vanderbilt, or designed by Gloria Vanderbilt at the time. So she didn't just do jeans. I think she also did china during the 70s as well. So we're gonna use these fun green and pink plates for the spring dinner tonight. So I'll grab that, and then 4 dinner plates right here. So now we're gonna get some silverware. I have lots of sterling silverware that I started initially when I got married over 25 years ago. And again, I've built that collection over time, where my mom as a gift would maybe give me a fork or give me a knife, or I've been to an estate sale and saw that pattern that was available and at a much better cost than what it would be retail. So I've built that collection over time. So tonight we're just doing simple. Remember, I don't cook. We're just gonna do a simple lasagna. All I need are forks. So I'm just gonna get 4 dinner forks. But if you look here, you're gonna see I'm very particular about how things are organized in here. And I'm very particular about keeping count of things, that they go in the right place. You could maybe call me a little bit obsessive compulsive. That's who I am. So you can see in here I've got sticky notes so I know where they go, number 1, and then how many I have of each, so I know what the count is. That way, if I'm having parties or I can't, there's a party or somebody's putting things away, they know exactly where to put it, and then I know what the count is. So if something's missing, I know it's in the wrong spot, and I go and look for it, and then I have it. So it's really just a memory game for me because I'm getting old and I need to know the count of things that I have. So now that we've got all the supplies for the table, let's go set it. Let's go ahead to the solarium. I'm always on the hunt, and there's always space. Like I said, I have 2 daughters, and in my mind, I'm curating things for them and their families. So I always think there can never be enough because there's 2 of them. Plates stack. So plates stack, and they're easy to store. The key though is storing them in a place where you can actually see them, because if you see your things, you're going to use them. I remember when my grandmother passed away, my mom had boxes and boxes of things in the garage that she did not use, and she was saving for her girls to pass down, me and my sisters, and she never used those things. And they sat in boxes for probably 20 years before we actually started using them in our own homes and were old enough to actually use them. And I remember thinking back to myself, what a shame that was not to use them that my mother didn't use them, but they were in boxes away. It's because she couldn't see them. She probably lost sight and didn't know that they were actually there, which is why it's important to me to have things out and use tabletop items as decorative pieces in the home as well. I'm gonna be honest, I don't love to cook as much as I love to set a table. There's only so much time. I only have so many strengths, and baking is not one of them. I'm fortunate that my husband does like to cook. Alternatively, I can cook up and heat up a mean frozen lasagna and put a salad together. But cooking's not my forte. I like to focus on the front end of the meal and leave the actual meal to my husband. So now we're in another favorite spot in the house. One, there's snacks in here, and it's where we keep our food, but it's also where I keep some seasonal ceramics and other things that I use for entertaining. So we didn't change anything in here when we moved into the house. This is exactly how it was. We just painted it brown. And I thought, we don't have enough food to put into all of these spaces, so why not put some of my china in here as well and use it as decorative pieces? So it may be an area you see here that has food, and it is. It's our pantry, but I've hidden the food. So I'm trying to make a pantry as pretty as possible. So let me show you a couple things. A lot of green here. You'll see the plates that we set the table with for dinner, that we're going to be setting the table with for dinner. These are the saucers that went with us from the Gloria Vanderbilt set. Again, she wasn't just jeans, but she did china too. A lot of these pieces I got at estate sales. You can see the geese right here. The snail is a soup tureen. You'll see I collect soup tureens. My mom's was the cabbage with the little squirrels on the side. A friend had given this to me. The green plates are the Dodie Thayer that Tory Burch sells, that line there. And these watermelon bowls are really fun. They're fun for summer. I have 2 of them. I actually use them for salad or for watermelon in the summer. And I got these at estate sales, I think for like $5 each. So they're fun. You can see I have a penchant for animals like frogs, anything that brings some spring in. Cabbage bowl I have down here. And these plates are really fun. We use them for dinner a lot. They're cabbage plates. I think I actually got these at Walmart several years ago. They're buffet plates. So you can go high-low. You can get high-end stuff. You can go to Walmart and get really pretty things as well. One thing my mother always told me, and I'll never forget this, we were at a dinner party and people the host served the dinner on paper plates. And my mom had said to me, do me a favor, do not ever serve guests on a paper plate. You can go to Walmart, you can get a plate that costs 50 cents or whatever that is, probably cheaper than the cost of what a paper plate would be. You're helping the environment and you can reuse it again. Do not use paper plates. It shows your guests that you're not caring about them. And for whatever reason, with my mother, that stuck with me. And so as a result, now I have a lot of plates. Right through here, you can see in these drawers that were here, that's where we keep, snacks for the kids. I keep a snack jar up here as well. This tureen, it's sort of the tureen collection that I love is a pig. It's Fitz and Floyd. My friend Sam has a shop up in Chicago called Trading Treasures, and it's a resale shop essentially. It was there, and I'm like, this thing is gorgeous. It has asparagus and onions on it. It's sort of like a pig stew. This plate back here, I got at an auction. John Roselli was selling part of his estate. It was stair auctions, and so anything from John Roselli I'm attracted to, and I bought that. This is a pretty just chinoiserie green tray I got at Williams-Sonoma. Silver set that was my mom's. I've got a Santa punch bowl that I use obviously around the holidays. He's sitting here because he's too big to go anywhere else. That's become his spot. Up here, I've got a lot of the serving pieces for my wedding registry, the hair end. You can see I've got more tureens. I have a compare set that was a wedding registry gift. I keep the bowls and cake plates up on top, just there's no room to put them anywhere else. And then over here, again, I just have some of the everyday china that we pull and we eat from. So rather than stacking it, I have it on as display. So a lot of shelf space. I don't have that much food. We're only a family of 4. And so I decided to use the space that would normally be here for food and for a larger family for my things that I want to display. My china, my plates, the pitchers. And for me, what's great, again, I can see it. And if I can see it, I'm going to use it. So while you may see a supply of Diet Cokes and LaCroix and Horizon organic milk, it's next to these pretty things. There's a lot of favorite pieces that I have in the closet, but one of them up here is, probably you can see it, it's a Mary Hadley pitcher with a pig. It's behind there. The reason I love that, when we were younger, in the corner cabinet of my kitchen growing up, we had these sets of plates. So we had mugs and plates and bowls that we used when we were little kids. And my sister got these for my 2 daughters when they were born, and she had them made. And they're fun. Like you can see, this is Victoria's. It's a frog on this side with her name on this side, and then at the base, at the bottom of the cup, it says Ribbit. And you can custom make them, all gone. I just think they're really cute. They're nothing fancy. They're made in Kentucky, Mary Hadley. I don't even actually know if they make them anymore. Maybe at certain shops they do, but they remind me of my home growing up, and I wanted my children to have the same ones that I had. Another thing I have in here are these copper pots. My mom had tons of them and had them all over the kitchen. Again, you can see these ones are in really good condition because they're not getting a lot of use for me because I don't love to cook, but they're out here on display because I think they're pretty and they remind me of my home growing up, and so it gives me comfort in seeing those things in my home today. A couple my other favorite things in here that I love. Clearly, I love heron. I love anything heron, and I think you can use it for anything. And you'll see how we use a couple of the pieces on the table that we're going to set. You can put candy in here. It doesn't just have to be, formally this is for sugar, for a tea set. I'm not having tea very often and serving formal tea and putting sugar in here. You can put paper clips in here. You can put candy in here. Really decorate any table with the things that you love. So this compare set, my mother, when I was getting married, she said you need to have a compare set and register for it. It's an old French pottery company, really, really beautiful. And there's different patterns. There's blue and there's yellows. And so I initially got this tea set, and you can see the tray behind it. This was the new one that I got that was, it's now 25 years old, which is pretty. And then I actually saw at a house sale or an estate sale, they had a set that was for really inexpensive. And I thought, my gosh, I have to get the older one as well. So you can see the difference between the old and the new. So I got another set, and I thought, okay, now I have two sets. The girls can't fight over it. Each get one. Easily accessible for entertaining right across from the pantry. We set up this bar area, dry bar area, where the kids can get drinks and run in and out. We have kids here all the time. But I also set up a formal bar where I have a lot of my grandmother's crystal. Again, my grandmother set very formal tables, and I was fortunate enough to receive some of the items from her. But I've even added to that over time, like Madison, which is a phenomenal store here in Dallas in Highland Park Village. They were having a warehouse sale, and I went and I got these beautiful, crystal glasses. Can you hear that? My mom and grandmother always said, if you cling it, it's crystal and you can hear it. If it's not, it's glass. But I've added to the collection over time to make it colorful, so you can see a lot of greens and yellows and pinks, and I like to have a very colorful layered table. This is where we put some of our everyday glasses, and then I've got some of the opaline glasses up on top, which I got from KRB NYC in New York, except for the blue ones I purchased at Round Top when I was there antiquing. But again, you can see I mix high and low. You've got silver here, you've got drink stirs, you've got cocktail napkins here at any time. These are from Cheffany. She makes the most adorable cocktail napkins. I got those at Madison as well. I think I got this wicker rattan tray. I don't know. I think I got it at Marshall's home store on sale. This was like $12. And then on here, like this ice bucket was my mom's. This is recent. I think this is from Two's Company. You can see the little shell toothpicks. I thought this was so cute. I had to get it for the bar area. The animal theme continues. You can see a monkey here, and I've got lemons here. So I use them for cooking or slice them up for drinks so that they're accessible and ready at any time. So this is an area I wanted to make it very intentional so I could quickly, easily grab things to set up a table very quickly. And again, with the thought being, if I can see it, I'm going to use it. I went to university, and I was always going to grow up and I was going to be a teacher. And I was a teacher for 3 years, and then was in commercial real estate, and I just wrapped up a 25-year, what I call corporate America career, and I'm now focusing 100% on what is my passion, which is interior design. So I've dabbled in interior design over the past several years, having remodeled 5 of my own personal homes in the last 10 years. And I've learned a lot, build relationship with tradespeople, tested and experimented with different fabrics and materials, and have been able to take from my background and what my grandmother had and what I grew up with around with my mother, and what I've learned working at auction houses and with travel and studying abroad, different things along the way, to curate sort of who I am today. I always say, I've raised 2 children. I had a very busy corporate career, spent a lot of time traveling, and had this love and passion for interior design, but I was never really able to scratch that itch because I was too busy focusing on raising my children and a busy corporate day job. And so I hit some milestones this year where I turned 50. I had 25 years in corporate America, and I said, now's the time for me to scratch this itch. And I always say you can't have it all. You can have it all, you just can't have it all at the same time. And I couldn't decorate while I had my corporate career and was raising children, and so now I'm going to focus on the raising the children and my interior design career. So we're back in the solarium now, and this is another sort of closet for me, but this was formerly a greenhouse that we had cased in, and we kept these original shelves, and it's a planting area officially. It has a sink here, and I keep a lot of my vessels here. So blue and white vases. There's a white ceramic whale right here that I have some plants in. A swan that I picked up at an antique sale. A couple of these vessels I got, these tulip ones, they're newer from Coco and Dash here in Dallas. So you see a lot of different things here, but how this connects to the table that we're going to set, I want to pick a centerpiece. And the centerpiece I have in mind is a green frog. Again, the theme is a spring table. And I thought this frog right here would be really fun. It's a Jean Roger frog from France, and they sell them at KRB New York City as well as Ellis Hill here in Dallas. But I got this one off of the Facebook Marketplace yard sale for about $150, which is a steal because I think in the store there's something like $800 or something ridiculous. So got a fern in here from Tom Thumb, which is our local grocery store. So get an $8 fern I put in this frog, and we're gonna set him in the middle of the table and then go set the table. So let's go. So we're gonna set him down on the table here. So we've got our blue and white butterflies. With this fun tablecloth from 2 young girls who own Gattapard Home in Washington, D.C. And then I've got my fun frog planter here with my $8 fern from Tom Thumb. All right, let's get started and set the table. All right, so where I like to start with the table, and just to make it casual and give it a layered look, I have these brown rattan placemats. I got them actually at Pier 1 Imports, I think like 5 years ago. And I think they just add a more casual touch to a more formal table and give it a bit of dimension and scale. Here are napkins that we took from the previous room. And then I'm gonna set the plates down. So these are the fun, sort of green and pink plates that were from my grandmother, the Gloria Vanderbilt plates. So I'm putting each down here. And just stacking it, the dinner plate and then the dessert plate on top of each other. All right, so we're gonna take our napkins from Marigold Home. Usually what I do is just take the napkin, fold it in back here, just sort of like this to give it an elevated look. I put it under the plate, and whatever's showing, if it's the monogram or whatever imprint, I'll put it down like that, squeeze it under the table so it makes it tight, and it's good to go. And it just makes a little bit different, so you don't always have the napkin sitting right next to the plate, but makes it, gives it an elevated look for what is a casual dinner. I'll take this one, again, just fold it over really easily here. It's gonna get taken, thrown out anyway or cleaned up anyway, so where it creases, it doesn't matter. I am not particular about that at all. Then I'll get my forks. Let's see. And I also got, for the drinks, we're gonna do some coasters from Cheffany. I love them, I think they're fun. And I think they add they tie in with the plates. This cabbage here, very springy, it adds in another color and dimension to the table. And then the forks, the silver I just put on the outside. My rules for setting the table, there really aren't any. Anything goes. Have fun with it. So you can mix and match color patterns. This is green and pink, this is blue and white. It's okay to do that. And that's part of the curated collection that I have. You want to layer the things that you have from different pieces, from different sets, to make it more dynamic, make it more of a centerpiece, and actually make it part of a conversation of the table. The table should be part of the party in my mind, and it's just as much an item that you can decorate, just as much as a room. So some of the rolls I have, again, we're just doing a simple dinner. It's salad and lasagna. 1 fork, very easy. Here's my rule. The silverware that goes on the table should only be silverware that's going to actually be used for the meal. Don't put anything extra out. And if you're ever in doubt, like what are the rules? Are there any rules? Just go on the internet and say, where should the salad fork go? Where should the soup spoon go? There are lots of different examples out there today that show you a visual of where everything should go if you do have multiple pieces of silverware that you need to put on the table if it's a big meal. I'm lucky enough with this where it's just the fork. So next I got the salt and pepper shakers, the frogs. They sort of go with Mr. Frog over here, right? So again, keeping with the theme of spring. And again, these were vintage. I got them at an estate sale from down the street. One thing that's special for us in my family and something I collect with my girls, and we are doing a special spring dinner because my daughter's going back to college tomorrow after she's been off on spring break. We collect these baccarat butterflies. They're pretty. They come in different colors, and I gave one to her for her high school graduation, and since have been gifting them to her, whether it's like a birthday or Christmas. And so I'm putting them out as sort of like a place card holder, although we're not going to use them because there's just 4 of us. We don't need place cards, but I like to put it at the head of the setting so it delineates that's where somebody is actually sitting at the table, so that they have a little butterfly to be with them. Next are the glasses. I'm going to put those around. I'm going to put them on the little cabbage. Just again, it gives it some dimension. So blue glass really pops with the contrasting green cabbage below it. And then I'm going to take the little mockingbird glasses with the straws that we got in the other room, the glass ones, and put that as like the mocktail, right, that we're going to have for dinner tonight. We are not a big dessert family. We are more of like a finger food for dessert. We like sweets, we like sugars. So I got some chocolate eggs for, again, I thought they were springtime and pretty from Trader Joe's. And then also from Trader Joe's, I got some just chocolate brownies, which we like to eat. They're bite size. And again, this is another thing I got, it's an asparagus, but I use it as like a little, a place to hold brownies. It's a fun little surprise for the table, and it looks really pretty on the table. Looks like part of the table setting, but you'd think, what is it? And then you get the surprise of dessert in there. So that's gonna go in there. Then another special thing that I like to have at the place setting for us when we are having a special dinner, my daughters and I, we collect heron. I actually have been collecting it since I've been young, and I like to give 1 piece to my daughter as I find something throughout the year. And so I'm going to put these around at the table heads, which somewhat delineates where they're going to sit tonight. So there's a purple one, Purple Bunny, who is the cheerleader, and my youngest daughter will get that one. So she's going to go here, and I put it next to the butterfly. This is my oldest, Victoria's, the pink bunny. She collects the pink herons. I'm going to put that one there with the balloons. And I'm going to give myself the pink bunny. And then my husband, he'll get a blue one. He'll get the blue frog holding the underneath the lily pad right there. So again, I like to add things that we collect. I like to put it on the table as decoration and really use it. So it's not just sitting on the shelves in the house, but also taking the shelves and bringing them to the table to make it really like another room. I'm gonna put that over here. I'm gonna pour some of so you can see it. You can see how these mockingbird glasses look when they have a drink in them. I'm gonna pour just pink lemonade. That's a little mocktail. So I'm gonna fill that up so it's ready to go. And then you can see how pretty they look when they're actually filled up with a drink. And you just put the straw in there. So what was, just a simple round table started with a fairly blank slate with the blue and white tablecloth. Really quickly, you can elevate the look and use different things, whether it's something that's been passed down, something I've gotten at an antique store, at a house sale, an estate sale, at auction, or that I've purchased retail. You can mix it all together. There really, in my mind, there are no rules. You should have fun with it and have a table that's really layered and curated and colorful. And spring tables are definitely my favorite tables to curate because you can have so many different layers of these pastel colors, which I just love. And again, no rules here. Asparagus goes with the butterfly, which goes with the bunny, which goes with the frog, which goes with the $8 fern from Trader Joe's. The piece of silver that I'm going to use for the table, which again is a little bit more formal, this was passed down to me and was my grandmother's. I don't have a lot of meals where we have a need for a gravy boat. And so what I've done is repurposed what was the typical gravy boat and put the chocolate eggs in them so that we can bring what is a more formal piece to the table without actually using it for what its original use was supposed to be. So I think it's pretty, it's a shell, goes with the theme, and is colorful. So before my daughter heads back to school, she's having some friends over and some younger friends too for my younger daughter. And because it's spring, I always like to, again, set a table, make it pretty, even if it's just the pool table and getting drinks and snacks for the kids. So you can see on the table, I've got some drinks. We have more Cheffany napkins, which we love, jelly beans, and I use some of the little silver trinket dishes that were in the closet. Even with just, ice cream is gonna melt. So Trader Joe's ice cream cones with just the chocolate in here so that they get an experience of being at the pool. Yes, I have a younger one who uses the Barbie boat. Wheezy towels I think are fun, sunscreen, and then just some great pieces here from my favorite in Florida, Palm Beach Regency. They've got great sort of like whimsical animal ceramics that I always try and pick up when I'm down there visiting. And then these pink chairs, which were in my mother's house. So chairs, they were actually game chairs, and I leave them in here because this pink ostrich fabric is vinyl, and so it can get a little bit wet. So it adds a little bit of fun in this room. And then locally here, I always, again, like to support women-owned businesses. And my friend Caitlin Wilson has a store here in Dallas and has some really pretty, fun blue and white pillows and always incorporates bows and fun things into her decor and in her store. So pillows are a great way to change up a space in a room. They go with the towels. And so we've got some bow pillows that we've got in the pool house today for the swimming. So when my husband and I moved to Dallas 10 years ago, we were in a rush to find a house because my daughter was going to be entering 4th grade. We had a finite number of blocks that we were able to look at and homes that were actually available. So we got a home, we renovated it, and when I got to Dallas, I realized how hot it actually was, and we had no place to swim. And the house that we got, the lot was too small to put a pool. So I was on a walk, and 2 blocks away, I saw this house that needed to be renovated again, but it had a pool. It was an open house, and I just walked in, went through the house. It was being sold for lot value, and the house was just beautiful. It's a 1934 home that our architect was George Marble, and 2 families had lived in it over 80 years. And so I walked around, thought, it does need a lot of work, but I think I can do it. I think I'm up for the job. And so we bought the house, and my husband said to me, this is your decision. I think he knew because I thought I'd have a breakdown remodeling this one and working, but we did it and we love it. It's bright, it's airy, and I think we've made it our own, and we brought it to today's living so that any family could live in it. When I'd purchased it 5 years ago, it was really sold and being marketed as a tear-down house. And when I walked by and saw it, the exterior, I thought, the neighborhood cannot lose this home. It's just too pretty. And so I wanted to pour my love and passion into restoring and maintaining this home. And it really has become a loving home for us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.